At this point, I wanted to give you all an idea about the content of the Constitution. In order to understand where government has gone wrong, you need to understand what it was supposed to be. The Constitution is very easy to read. Well, not actually. It's a contract, but it's short. There are 4,543 words in the basic Constitution, and with the 27 amendments, only 7,590 words. You can do it. You've heard me talk before about the defined enumerated powers of Congress. So today, I wanted to briefly go over those enumerated powers of Congress so that you can start to think about what has gone wrong. First, I want to read to you from Article 1, Section 1 of the Constitution, some of the very first words after the preamble, and they state, "All legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and a House of Representatives." Did you catch the important word there? All legislative powers. Not some of the powers, some of the time, but all the powers, all of the time. Now, the 18 enumerated powers of Congress occur in Article 1, Section 8, which I'm going to read for you and let you digest. So Section 8 goes like this. Number 1, the Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises, to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. But all duties, imposts, and excises shall be uniform throughout the United States. Just think about that for a minute. The second power of Congress, to borrow money on the credit of the United States. Number 3, to regulate commerce with foreign nations and among the several states and with the Indian tribes. This is the so-called Commerce Clause. Number 4, to establish an uniform rule of naturalization and uniform laws on the subject of bankruptcies throughout the United States. Very important. Number 5, to coin money, regulate the value thereof, and of foreign coin, and fix the standard of weights and measures. Self-explanatory. 6, to provide for the punishment of counterfeiting the securities and current coin of the United States. 7, to establish post offices and post roads. Well, that doesn't mean all roads. That means post offices and post roads. And post roads were very well defined at the time of the founding. Number 8, to promote the progress of science and useful arts by securing for limited times to authors and inventors the exclusive right to their respective writings and discoveries. Number 9, to constitute tribunals inferior to the Supreme Court. I'm going to repeat that one. To constitute tribunals inferior to the Supreme Court. Article 3 of the Constitution established the Supreme Court. The Congress establishes the rest of the federal court system. Think about that. Number 10, to define and punish piracies and felonies committed on the high seas and offenses against the law of nations. The oceans are still important. Number 11, and this is very important given today's world, to declare war, grant letters of marque and reprisal, and to make rules concerning captures on land and water. So what does that mean? That means that the Congress is the only authority to declare war. The only authority to declare war. Think about that. Number 12, to raise and support armies, but no appropriation of money to that use shall be for a longer term than 2 years. The founders were very skeptical of standing armies. Very skeptical. Number 13, to provide and maintain a navy. You can't have a nation of worldwide commerce that doesn't involve ocean transit, and for that, you need a navy. Number 14, to make rules for the government and regulation of the land and naval forces. Number 15, to provide for calling forth the militia to execute the laws of the Union, suppress insurrections, and repeal invasions. Think about it. Only Congress. Not the president, not the courts, only Congress. 16, to provide for organizing, arming, and disciplining the militia, and for governing such part of them as may be employed in the service of the United States, reserving to the states, respectively, the appointment of the officers and the authority of training the militia according to the discipline prescribed by Congress. Number 17, to exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district not exceeding 10 miles square. That doesn't mean 10 square miles. That means 10 miles on each side, by the way. As may, by cession of particular states and the acceptance of Congress, become the seat of government of the United States, and to exercise like authority over all places purchased by the consent of the legislature of the state in which the same shall be located, for the erection of forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and other needful buildings. So you got to ask yourself, why is there such amount of land in the western states owned by the federal government? Doesn't seem to fit power number 17. We'll discuss that later. And finally, number 18, to make all laws which shall be necessary and proper for the carrying into execution the foregoing powers and all other powers vested by this Constitution in the government of the United States or in any department or officer thereof. So while the Congress has approximately 36 designated powers by the Constitution, these 18 powers of Section 8 are the ones that mostly affect the people. Consider it. We'll discuss it. And just think, how many of your favorite or least favorite agencies of the government are actually unconstitutional? Talk to you next time. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, please comment, like, or share. I'm Chris Magiera, and I approve this message. Paid for by friends at Chris Magiera Incorporated.